just trying to get everything set up for everybody. You know, it's never that easy. Well, here we go. Yeah. What's going on, Facebook and YouTube? I don't know if you guys were just on the Instagrams. Let me know how it's going from my audio standpoint. I'm just checking in with everybody, having a little bit of a shift drink, if you will. Let's see if the widgets are working for comments. Of course not. So what we'll do is let you guys know that you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we're going live. We're just doing a little check-in with everybody. I will have to do some work because apparently, like, the widgets that I installed, they don't work. So I'm going to have to do some meandering over here on the old internets, getting that stuff set up so we can chat, if you will. Let's see. Tell you what, every time we hook this up, it's different. So it's interesting because it's not always, you think it's the same, but it's not. Like, it should be, but it isn't. You know, we just did a little Instagram live, which was nice, and we talked to a buddy of mine, Chef Scotto 1113 on Instagram. You can head and follow us there. He's talking about what his restaurant is doing to keep up with the demands of the change. Like, eventually, at first they closed down and they weren't going to do anything. Now they're doing some food to keep up with some other people that are doing food, and they're in Fullerton with a bunch of restaurants in that area. And he says it's a bit of a ghost town, which is interesting because I remember not too long ago going to that area and it being completely just packed. And of course, you know, everything's changed. Everything's different. Nothing's packed anymore. It is what it is. And I think that is a bit tough, you know. My biggest thing as of right now,
hey guys, what
is the fact that was me pulling up a live video. For some reason, I'm trying to find it in case you guys are following us on YouTube for a quick comment, you know, see what's happening, if you will. I'm going a little stir crazy. I have to be honest. I'm going stir crazy. I don't know if you guys are going stir crazy, but it has been tough. It's been tough. And I'm used to working all the time. I'm used to, like, cramming everything in. And now I'm getting to the point where I don't even know what day it is. And I know that can be hard to admit, right? Like, it sucks staying home, but it doesn't at the same time because you get to be with your kids, and, you know, all of the kids are at the house, and Gina and I are working on this house, and we're trying to make everything the way it should be. Like, we're painting and we're doing the fun stuff. Totally sliced open my thumb. I mean, totally jacked it up. It's like hamburger meat. And, like, you guys would be proud. It's the best way I can describe the cut is mandolin, like in the palm. But imagine that all the skin that the mandolin cuts, you pull it out from underneath the top skin. That's the best way I can describe the cut I got on my thumb. I'm not saying that that's the way that you want to go, but I had to go buy some blood clotting because I didn't have any super glue. It's been a while since I've bought any blood clotting, to be honest. I finally got it to stop bleeding, though. We're in good shape now. We're in good shape. So, not to mention that, yes, it's been tough. It's tough going a little bit crazy. And on Instagram, a lot of people were saying that it sucks to be home. I get it. I get that it does. I'm really just trying to check in with everybody and see what we're doing. See how you're doing. You know, you guys can comment, and I'll try to react to it as best as I can. You know, Chef Paul, if you don't follow us on our Facebook page, it's extremeculinaryoutfitters.com on our Facebook page. And this article that Chef Paul produced or put together was really, really good. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick for you guys to take a look at. We'll see if anybody's comments yet. Oh, Mercedes, I see you there. Yes, it's a little bit going crazy. I'm trying to keep up. Let me duplicate this tab. Sorry, guys. I'm as tech savvy as I can be. The second round of Shift Drinks is brought to you by Firestone Walker, a hashtag not sponsored. This is just the Mind Haze. This is the beers that you can get from Costco in their variety pack. It's decent little mix. When I was in New Orleans about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, Tamara, I can't remember what day it is either. My brother and I drank a lot of Coors Light hanging out and reminiscing on life. But it has been... so I haven't wanted to... That's usually what I drink, Coors Light, because it's like my little Gatorade. Here's the article. And this is our Facebook page, and you can see Chef Paul. He's throwing up articles daily. He's so good. He does such a good job in writing that I feel like, man, I wish that I could articulate my thoughts as well as him in the written form. I often feel like I'm much better talking into a microphone, looking into a camera. But you know what? Sometimes I don't think I get my point across the way I should. I always go back and I'm like, man, there's so much more we could have done or could have said. This article talks about taking the kitchen out of the cook, and it's problematic. You know, what's funny is that I tried to get this right on the Instagram, and Instagram's just from the phone, and we're just chatting, and, you know, the interview's really good with Scott, and you guys should check it out. But this article talks about what happens to us as chefs and cooks, really, just people that work a lot. And I don't want to make this just about, you know, our industry, but the one thing that I think is interesting is we're used to working a lot. We're used to not being off, and we're definitely not used to be like home on the weekends. And I don't even like, a buddy of mine, he did some brisket at the house and he brought it over today, and he's like, hey, I dropped off some brisket. And I was like, oh, I was going to do brisket. And I'm like, what day is it? You know, like the days are starting to become the same because like you're used to go. And like when you do a full decompress like this, it's very, I've found it difficult. And that's what Paul's talking about inside this article, for me at least. I mean, he's saying like we could choose different things, right? I've tried to stay physically active, and I've thought about if any of you guys want some sort of physical challenges or you want to challenge me to something. I don't know. I feel like we need to start like looking for things to keep us busy. I mean, I wrote like 25 items on, and maybe I'll post it to our stories, but I wrote like 25 items of menu ideas that I could make with the food in the house. And the kids are Gina, they all get to pick what those items, you know, like they can say, oh, I want the spaghetti and meat sauce. Okay. I mean, I know it's not a big deal, but like I was going to go from stuffed peppers to spaghetti. And I'm just trying to keep it to where they can select something so they can keep it fresh, and they can kind of, you know, decide what their day is going to be like. And let's face it, like when I'm home, I love to do two things. One, I love to cook, and like create, and I love to have a cocktail while I'm doing it. So like I want to start making breakfast, and my breakfast, I just don't want to destroy the kitchen so everybody's doing dishes all day. That's where it gets sideways, is where everybody starts doing all the dishes that I need, it's one thing that I've found. What makes me laugh is that I'm used to cooking and making this whirlwind of a mess, and people clean up after me. And now I'm like, hey, maybe I need to keep that to like the lowest of the low. Maybe I need to try not to use as many pots as possible, because I'm rough on the pots. I just want you guys to know, like, if I'm reducing a sauce, it's going to the, I need to have different pots for it. And then, I've sharpened some knives, and like, I'm just looking for things. One of the things, and all of you guys are everybody's going to DM me and be like, oh, you haven't used your knives in a while? No, this is a saw. I was trimming some bushes, and I talked about it on the Instagram live story. You can go watch it, but I shredded my thumb, completely opened that bad boy up. And I was talking about it earlier. The name of the saw is Corona. It's the same brand. It's so crazy that that's the brand. Opened it up, and I'm talking about, I had to go buy blood clot. I know we probably already talked about that. I've never had to go buy the blood clot. I didn't have any white pepper. Anyway, I want you guys to read that article. Let me know what you think. Let's see who else is. Yeah, I can't remember the same. Everybody's struggling. I'm going to refresh that page, see what we got on the Facebook for the live. I tell you what, I'm a little disappointed because my widgets aren't working for this fourth page. They're technically, anybody that comments for YouTube or anything like that is supposed to come in on this page down here, but for some reason I can't get that to work, so I'm gonna have to do some XSplit research. You can see that right there. Lives of a chef. I ain't got anything to do. Okay, so Luke says that he's resting and that he is actually taking an extra day off. And I was talking about this with Scotto. It's been interesting because some people have gone into, not hibernation, but like into this moment where they're trying to figure out what's next for them. And they're trying to see if they can actually, are they going to weather the storm? Is it going to be something that they can... I don't know if survive's the best word, because there's jobs out there. Like you could go and stock shelves at your local grocery store because they can't keep anything inside the store, right? So like there's ways around it, and they're looking for people, sure. And I've heard people comment on that. I've seen it. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, you got to hustle, right? You got to hustle to survive. I'm with you. I hear you. But, there's guys that have been cooking at a restaurant for 10 years and this is the first time, or 20 or whatever it is. And you're trying to figure out what's this next step for you. I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to say that you have to go find a job, but maybe people do because they're looking, they have to pay their bills, right? Their landlord's not cutting them a break. And that's what I was talking to Scott about, because his landlords, his owners, the owners of that place, they are helping him. He went in today and he wasn't getting paid. He was getting paid with is a beer, and he was going to help his cooks, make sure his cooks were working. And that's what it's about, right? Like, I don't need, for me, I just need to take care of the crew. That's where it gets tough, right? You got to take care of the crew because you're nobody without your crew. And I know a lot of people maybe struggle with that. And that's okay. But you really aren't anything without your crew. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way for everybody to take care of the crew. and he's found a way. He's doing grocery store meals. He's doing all sorts of stuff. And according to Luke, yeah, look at Luke. He's dropping it right now. Plan B is either work at a hospital or stock the shelves. Here's something for the guys and girls out there. There's a restaurant that's local to us called Hannah's, and these guys do a really good job. They're a phenomenal restaurant, family run. Guy's been in the business for everything for quite a while. And he is offering gift cards for doctors and nurses at a discount. And I think, and I got to go back and look at it because I need to look into it again. But he's allowing people to buy it where the nurses and doctors can come by and just pick them up. Now, look, man, that is fantastic. Just think about that. If your restaurant advertised for people out there to buy meals for the nurses and doctors, firemen, police officers, all the people that are in the front lines of this, especially the people in the hospitals, right? Think about that. That has been nothing but, somebody thinks they have it and then they go in and, oh, guess what? Yeah, you do. You definitely have it. So how do you support them? And he found a way to set up something where he's getting an income. And yeah, he's doing it for 40 or 50% off, but yet still money's coming into the door. I like that. I mean, I didn't think of it, so I thought I would share it. What are your restaurants doing that's making a difference for you? I know that Scotto started the one thing that Scotto brought up that I thought was, or Scott, I should stop calling him by his Instagram name. I always do that. The one thing that Scott brought up that I thought was really kind of cool and scary at the same time is, sorry, I'm trying to pull up any YouTube comments because I can't seem to find them. It's not, me being technically challenged and everything. He said he's making the bread. He can't buy the bread from his normal bread guy. And the guy that he typically buys from is, that dude's awesome. Dean Kim from OC Baking. He's an awesome, awesome guy. He actually donated a lot of bread to a barbecue place that gave away 1,100 meals. They gave away 1,100 meals to like a bunch of people. All he had to do was drive through their parking lot, and this restaurant smoked a bunch of meat and made sandwiches for everybody. Which, dude, for me, that's amazing. I think that is absolutely awesome. And so, but he can't buy from Dean right now, which is tough when you really think about it, because Dean's probably needing the business, but yet he's doing everything he can to make it happen. I don't know. He's making the bread. He hasn't made bread in a while, but you're getting homemade bread and filet mignon sandwiches for like $12. And he's delivering it, just trying to make it happen. I don't know. It's funny. I don't see anybody getting any. YouTube's not even posting my live video, so I don't even know if my live stuff's working. Oh, here we go. Nope, not at all. How disappointing is that? Maybe this is just on Facebook. And then I have a friend that's in Texas, and she's trying to find high ratio shortening, and we talked about it on Instagram. And you know what? She's struggling to get the product she needs. She's struggling to get the stuff together to work her team as much as she can and as little as, like, she's trying to balance the demand of the business and the amount of money coming in, and to keep the people working, because she's worried about, like, you have to stay open during it to get the relief, and then it's really hard because she's having a hard time getting the product. She's just big enough to not have deliveries a lot, so it's right in that middle spectrum, and it's tough. Everybody is having to reinvent themselves. Scott with doing the meals to go. I've got a buddy of mine down the street that's doing nothing but to go meals And he's actually driving his food truck into neighborhoods and producing food for people to pick up. All of this is tough, but that's the business side. What are we doing as a people? You know, that article that Paul, and I'm a couple of days behind on posting his stuff, but that article that he put together, man, I got to tell you right now, if I'm not really focused on something that's extremely difficult, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I've found myself a little bit I'm in this weird spot. And it's not that I'm with the kids and the wife and all that stuff, and I love that. What I've found is that everything is in flux. And the pressure is there, but you can't wrap your arms around really what the pressure is. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, your whole identity. My whole identity was being a chef and being the chef director, whatever you want to call it. And it's not there right now. It's like the pressure of performance is not there in the same way. And if we don't adjust, you can get caught in the wash. And it's like that you're in between the pole. So I've really been trying to focus on making sure that I try to at least run at least 3 or 4 times a week. One of my friends, Chef Paul, he is challenging his cooks to physical activity. So on his Instagram, he's hitting all of his cooks and he's saying, you have to do push-ups. Like, you need to do these push-ups. Let me see you do 30. See 30, do 30. And I'm like, oh man, that's so awesome. He's keeping them busy and focused, at least challenging them so the day is not wasted. You know, I don't know. It's maybe that's what we need to do. When we were talking on Instagram, people were like, I want to buy the glasses because they loved the thing. So hit me up in the DMs if you guys want us to do a run. We'll try to figure out how long that's going to take. Everything's on hold, if you will. Like, we're fulfilling orders, just not nearly as fast as we'd like. But I think, like today, I went for a run. I did a little 5K up in the hills by the house. Very nice. And, you know, one of my friends, he's a physical trainer here, and he runs a coaching facility, whatever, a gym, right? And he talked about when he was in Afghanistan and in the war, and how he created a program, a physical program, to where they worked out every day to try to create some sort of structure to their life in chaos. And I feel like that's what a lot of us are dealing with right now. Is it's not the chaos of war, for no means, right? We're having to sit home. I've heard a lot of people say this is the World War II of like our generation. But I don't know if I can, and you guys can slam me if you want. I just don't know if I can get behind it's the World War II of our generation, because I mean, my kids we're downloading video games and we're watching shows that we've always wanted to watch. We're not in a factory, but I'm not even going to go down some political side of it. What I'm saying is that we're lacking structure. And the one thing that our lives had, whether it be all on one side of the restaurant or in the hotel or whatever you want, it was a structure. You went to work and you worked. And inside that work was prep this, make that, do this. Your day is over, repeat. And now there's none of that. So we're just like, what the hell happened? The rug has been pulled out from underneath us. And here's my thing. The last couple of years. Oh, Cole, what's going on, brother? I see you on the Facebook. I don't know. I don't think we've never taken care of ourselves as an industry, right? I mean, my whole premise is like work hard, play hard. I get that. But over the past few years, I've really been trying to change that. I've been really focusing on health and trying to, as I drink a beer, but I'm not going to kid myself either. I'm not going to say the fact that what we're going through isn't hard, because it's so messed up. All of us, like the businesses are closing. Our people aren't stepping up to the plate. You know, it's funny because there's been a couple of people that stepped up to the plate and a couple of people that haven't, right? And there's been people that have thrown up. Like last week, we asked, what do you think about people in that celebrity chef area asking for a GoFundMe to help feed their staff? And there's a lot of comments on it. I don't know. I mean, I get frustrated when I got guys buying hats when I'm worried about them if they can pay their rent. But hey, that's probably why I don't sell like a gazillion hats. I really want the industry to come out. I know we're going to come out, right? I know we're going to come out on top because like we're survivors and we work through this. But what I'm worried about is the majority of us losing it inside this swirl. Like, at first you wake up at 10 o'clock and you're like, oh, last night was late. I mean, look at my silly ass. Like last week I had to confess the fact that I watched Love is Blind in one night. And that's before all the crazy even started. That was like maybe 2 weeks ago. I just got right back. And I was like, okay, Love is Blind. Gina and I sat on the couch and we crushed it. It was like, this is the best show ever. It just it took all of my brain cells and allowed me to just kind of chill. I don't know if it's not bad. I definitely, you know, it was interesting. It was something that I think everybody should see. Not really. If you don't have anything to do, watch it. But it's definitely. And then I thought that was it, right? I came across it. Have you watched, and this, I'm totally off subject because I was down this path of us, like, let's be physical, let's get in shape, and let's challenge each other to be better. And now I got to talk about it. Tiger King. Have you watched this? Like, this show, I don't even know what to say about it. It's like a train wreck, but you're watching the circus train wreck. Oh man. Like, that thing left a mark. I don't know how many of you guys have seen it. Holy moly. It's crazy. It's crazy. Luke, you just carve out some time, Luke. It's gonna blow your mind. It really is. It's like the craziest person you've ever worked with inside the restaurant left and decided they would create a magical kingdom of whatever they wanted, and they brought a bunch of guns and tigers and lions. It's almost like you can't even make it up. This is exactly what I said on Instagram. I feel like I'm reliving the first live at 2:00. It was crazy. Just take the time and watch it, but at least do some push-ups in between the episodes so you don't feel like a total failure like I did. Anyway, I digress from my new series. If there's any series out there that you guys are looking for, the series I started late last night or yesterday afternoon is The Witcher. I have to ask you guys a personal question. I hope you're able to answer it. I'm having a hard time watching the chef shows right now. Like, I love David Chang. I love Roy Choi's show, right? Chef. I get jealous. I do get jealous. I get jealous that they're able to do it on such an awesome level. And, you know, I'm kind of a douche that way. But it's a little bit heartbreaking. It leaves me bittersweet. It's like, man, that's so cool. That's so amazing that they're at, you know, Vancouver with Seth Rogan and they're eating all this amazing food. It makes me miss what we do. And it's only been, 2 weeks? Oh, I want you guys, last week when I was going off on a rant, my beautiful wife dropped off a note, and she said, wouldn't it be great if these celebrity chefs band together to help all restaurant staff, not just their employees? Because I was going off on this whole thing about the chefs, right? I was not real happy the fact that they were doing what they were doing. And you know what? I'm not that great at, like, I struggle with it. But here's the thing. A bunch of chefs did, and restaurant owners. They band together. And they created Save Restaurants, the Independent Restaurant Coalition, or IRC. I've shared a good deal of their stuff, but they are crushing it on media. Let me see if I can. Let's go full screen. I hope you guys can still hear me. Follow them, and INDP Restaurants on Instagram. And I got to tell you right now, I reshared Will's video. I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3. And I heard him speak at Cornell University for, I don't know what his topic was. And I've been a huge fan for a long time. And when I tell you that he crushed it, that's an understatement. Like, he made it to where, like, he made me remember why I started cooking. It was phenomenal. I just wish that I could take the time and get all of the crazy thoughts out of my head and present them to you in such an eloquent way. Sometimes I'm not able to, you know? It's definitely not what my strong suit is. It's the best, like, I'm good at it. Or like, I can get the words out of my mouth, but it sometimes it doesn't hit home like I think it should. Let's figure out what is going to allow us to come through this on a step above, right? I once shared this thing with some students that I have in this program that we're doing at my work. And it says that people that find failure, they don't use it as a step. Literally, when you fail, you put that weight of the failure in a backpack and you try to carry it. And this next level, I think we need to try to figure out those failure plates, and we need to set them down in front of us and use them as steps. Oh, Luke's been watching Vikings. I haven't watched that. I have not watched that. I think that I'm going to start to... there it is. Look at this. Let's see if I can pull this up on Twitter so you guys can see. I'm not as fast as Jamie, but if you guys are Joe Rogan fans, there it is. What are we going to do? How are we going to be successful people? I mean, sometimes that's out of our control, right? Sometimes you have to use those failures to climb up. I don't know. I don't know what it is because I don't have all the answers. What I do know is that I care a great deal about this industry. I care a great deal about all of you because I've been in those same places where you don't know what's next. And for me, I think what's really crazy is because, you know, I get an opportunity to talk to a culinary school and some culinary students every now and again. And we talk about the ups and downs inside this business. And I find so many that played a true life. I remember one time that I got poached from a certain job. And when I say poached, it was full on poached, right? They wanted me to come and run their bakery. And I was a pretty good baker. And after about 4 months, 3-4 months, I was trying to take over and reduce the inventory in this particular, not inventory, but the overtime. Overtime was out of control. And the group of people that were running it decided that they were going to do what they needed to do to make their, you know, they worked, if they wanted to work 12 hours, they worked 12 hours. They wanted to work 6, they worked 6. Depended on what the crew wanted to do. So this guy hired me and he's like, hey, you're going to do this. I want you to cut their hours, figure out what they do, and then run the bakery more efficiently. So I tried to, and there wasn't a lot of, that was a hope on somebody's wish list, but they didn't want to do the work to get it. All right, cool. You don't want to do the work, right? But I was willing to do the work, and I thought I could change the industry. So I was working and I know I needed to talk to the guy, whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I need to meet with you. I need to meet with you. I need to meet with you. And I kept getting put off. And then finally, when it was time to meet, the guy came in and he handed me my last check and he fired me on the spot. He's like, hey, it's just not working out. It's time for you to go. I'm just going to use what I was paying you from a salary standpoint, and I'm going to pay this guy's salary. I don't even know how, like, we had 2 kids, had a mortgage, and they but they gave me an opportunity. They gave me more money, so I followed the money. So it's on me too for making a decision, right? But now I don't have a job. And I need to pay the bills. And we were broke. We didn't have cable, I don't think, at that time. I think we had rabbit ears. We were watching Dragon Tales on PBS. I don't think you guys know what Dragon Tales is. But here's what's funny, is that I knew I could get a job because the market needed people that would work their ass off. I think that here's the deal. I don't know if everybody's going to come out like smelling like roses on this, because I can't promise the best, right? That's not what I would do anyway. But there are other I know that we're survivors. I know that this business has sharpened our teeth and fangs and claws to be hard. But when the entire industry is hurting, I've never seen anything like it. So I get concerned. I worry about everybody. I mean, coal's hurting. Coal is one of the best chefs. He used to bail my ass out at Derby. And he's commenting, like, we're all kind of in this together. And, like, if you want to go back and watch a chef talk about trying to take care of his crew, watch Scotto and the Instagram on, our stories on Instagram, where he hits it. Read this article that Chef Paul wrote. There's plenty on there. But he talks about taking us out of the kitchen and how that missing of structure is going to be hard on us. And it's not just cooks. It's dishwashers. It's servers. It's bartenders. It's everything. And he writes it in such a great way for cooks. But I'm going to tell you right now that for me, I'm a bit at a loss from how we can manage through it. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to create a menu for the family, keep physically fit, keep it exciting by, well, hell, you know what we did the other day? And this is like, we played Scrabble. We played Battleship. We played, we're doing a puzzle together. Those kind of things that we typically don't get to do, try to do that. Focus on family and friends a little bit, because that's really what keeps us going anyway. I don't know. I'm really thankful that you guys are here listening and commenting and giving me feedback. I hope that, I don't know what happened with the YouTube, so I apologize. I know that it never actually connected like I thought it was going to, which is frustrating. But hey, guess what? I'm going to work on that. I'll do some more streaming. You guys let me know. Oh, for Facebook and YouTube, I'll go back and look at the comments. I need to go back and reply to some comments in YouTube. It's been a while. But if you guys are interested in the Pilsner glasses, let us know, because apparently it was like all the rage on Instagram. So we had like 3 or 4 people go, I'd buy 6. I would like to get some. And I'll try to figure out how to do a run, and we can do that. Anything before we go? Let me see. Watch Tiger King. Watch that train wreck. You know what I'm going to do? And I'll put this up. I will try to post something on our Instagram stories of me staying diligent on working out. And here's the kicker. If you don't see it, I want you to bust my chops. No, seriously, send me something. I want you to be annoyed the fact that I'm doing something, because I think, and I could do the same to you. We've got nothing but time, and I think that we need to start taking care of ourselves anyway. So why don't we start now? That'll be our fun little challenge. Let's see where it goes. As always, this is our shift drink live. It's not a 15-minute, but it's more of me rambling and talking to you all. I appreciate the comments a great deal, more than you guys know. I miss everybody. Maybe we'll do this in the middle of the week. And until next time, cheers. You guys have a good week. Maybe I'll play a little exit intro, but I think it's gone. Looking forward to hearing from everybody.